Straight up.
Okay.
I think that our involvement in trying to maintain our hegemonic power in the South China Sea,
there we go,
arming all of our allies in that region,
nuclearizing
nuclearizing fucking Australia with the submarines and everything else like that is very is very stupid. It's unproductive. It's killing us because it just like shifts our efforts and focus onto a new front.
And we're
Cold
back.
War.
Yeah.
Fucking idiotic. Not only that, but also on top of that, it is a different situation than the Cold War because our trade relations with the USSR were not the same during the Cold War as it is with China now. So we do have a different pathway available
sometimes
for
I
us
think the
because
fucking
China would not have been able to develop as it
relay
did
server, I think you guys are right, does just kick me off,
China,
I think.
without it becoming a manufacturing hub for the world. And therefore, those trade relations exist and have not gone away. And we still rely on China for most of our manufacturing. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, the USSR was never our largest trade partner. So, like, the political dynamic there is very different than the USSR. You can look at fifth-generation Chinese films that presented many stories and critique of cultural revolution, scar literature. This is literally before Tiananmen Square, and even extended after as well.
I need to auto-publish the VODs and check the VOD. Hold on.
That's awesome. That's a sick shirt.
There you go.
He's wearing the Sinn Féin shirt, but Seinfeld Sinn Féin.
Sorry, it wasn't publishing.
When people talk about the reduction of poverty around the world over the last 50 years, they don't mention China very often. They often make it seem like it was just the West and capitalism. Yeah. What else? What else was I going to say as far as China goes?
When did we publish the VOD? What the fuck? Okay, you guys might need to wait.
Don't you have to leave, bro? So
you guys might need to wait a bit. My speed timer is going up. Oh yeah, it's fine, don't worry.
What other faults and failures of China that I missed? They have a really big problem with healthcare too. Their healthcare infrastructure has not caught up to other infrastructure projects. Like, they're very good at building shit. They're very good at building high-speed rail. They're very good at building in general. But as far as their healthcare infrastructure goes, like, it's improving, but there's still much that needs to be improved. So yeah. Another minus, they ban all the Western apps. I mean, that part I don't even
consider.
Boys of the R, but it turns out the boys are.
Do you think here's the question I have for you. Do you think that's a bad thing? I don't want it because I live in America and I do appreciate having like the freedom to look at whatever the fuck I want. But then I look at America and I'm like, damn, maybe it's not the best. Like, I still value it. I value freedom of speech. Of course I do. But then I also think about like Twitter and like how that works in practice in uplifting the most reactionary sentiment. And like, we literally complained for the past 3 hours about how people have gotten more insane progressively. And then we're like, well, you know, but the Chinese don't have our apps.
Let's go.
Like, you know what I mean? The same could be said about TikTok. Yes, I have said the same thing about TikTok. Do you not understand what I'm saying? Like, China has their own TikTok. It don't have the same shit that we see on TikTok. The difference there, of course, is that, like,
I'm talking to a son.
Chinese prosperity over the past couple of decades has also, like, maintained a shit ton of confidence in the government. A lot of people misunderstand this reality. They think, like, oh no, they're just like brutally suppressed, and that's why they can't, like, they're lying to like Western pollsters and Western researchers. But like, no, man, they see the changes in their fucking immediate life, so they do have a level of confidence that their government is doing the right thing by them that is unimaginable to the Western world. No one in the Western world literally has that same level of trust because Why would they? Why should they? Our government works completely against our best interests openly, both privately, but also openly all the fucking time. So, anyway, like the closest you can get to that, I think confidence in the government is probably like in the Western world is probably like Scandinavian countries, I would say. Like there's a lot more social cohesion. And it's funny because like they'll say, well, those countries aren't diverse. Well, China is fucking diverse.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Incredibly diverse.
All right.
So wrong.
Done.
Reddit banned based. No, so wrong. There's a reason you hear things that are not always favorable about the government, but you never hear about corruption or absolute distrust. No, you do hear about corruption. Yeah, you hear about corruption when you hear about like how China executed
Jacob
like a fucking dude. That was,
you'll just have to wait until the end of my stream
to
see this part of the VOD and upload it, just so you know.
My point is, you can't get away with
Sorry
like
about that.
authoritarianism
It just won't let
of
me
that
publish it
sort,
now.
and it certainly is authoritarian,
And
like you do in China.
something I played
without,
earlier
like,
triggered the
a base level of trust in government.
I think it was the dim
And that's
sum
a scary
song.
prospect for a lot of Westerners in general.
Triggered the
One, because they cannot
thing.
identify with that. Like they literally can't even identify with a world in which like they think that the government is like doing right by them in general and has their best interests in heart.
Anyway,
you know what I mean?
I'll just publish it after stream. That's okay.
No, it's not authoritarian in air quotes. It is authoritarian. It is objectively authoritarian to be like, you can't have these things that you want to have.
The Great
But all manner
Hyrule
of governance is at a certain
Forest.
stage authoritarian.
Oh my god, I've unlocked this area now.
Technically, age of consent laws are authoritarian to those who want to fuck minors, okay?
Oh my god,
It
okay.
is. Every rule and every regulation inevitably excludes people that want to violate said rules and regulations.
Okay, let's see if we can do this.
Like...
Actually, I want to go to the Great Hyrule Forest first.
This does not mean that it is like always bad, okay?
Never mind.
Sometimes it is
yeah, no,
good
we'll go there.
to restrict people that want to do things. Sorry to all the fucking debate YouTubers, but like age of consent, good, okay? I know I'm being quite controversial here. There are degrees to it. You hear about corruption all the time. There's always stories about some fail son daughter of some government official doing heinous shit and getting scot-free. Oh, I'm sure. Yes, that too. For sure. It's another, permanent problem with all governments. I'm talking like broader. Listen, the Chinese expats in here can probably attest to this
with
as
2 more
well,
shrines?
that, like, of course, all governments have issues.
We'll find shrines in here.
You know? But overall, the one thing you can't fucking
we'll do them,
fake,
don't worry.
the one thing you cannot fake is improvements to the material conditions of the broadest subsect of the population. When you do that, people are going to shut the fuck up and go, you know what? Things are pretty good. And there's also an additional understanding of like an additional social cohesion that you create with like the concept of Chinese prosperity, like a government. The government has done right by us, and like look how great we have become. Look how much of a superpower we have become in such a short period of time. That is another way to reinforce that is another way to like positively reinforce social cohesion and instill a sense of patriotism in you. That patriotism, of course, is never really like represented in the Western world because I think a shit ton of Chinese people are just like openly, understandably terrified of like saying it outwardly because everyone's like, well, you're a spy and you fucking want to kill the Westerners.
Oh, no.
Or whatever. But at least this is what I see from my relatives.
Oh, okay. I see.
Who are fucking Taiwanese even, okay? So, like, that's the other thing. Another thing that a lot of people also fail to recognize, maybe some other Asian populations living in the Western world don't recognize, is that like xenophobia hurts them as well, because in the eyes of Westerners, like, you're all Chinese. You're just Chinese. You're different kind of Chinese. Tom Cotton basically showed that very publicly. You know what I mean? So xenophobia does hurt all Asian populations in the Western world, because everybody goes, yeah, you're fucking Chinese too. Like, nobody's making the distinction between a Vietnamese person and a Chinese person. Like, that literally is never happening in the minds of a racist person. So it's funny because, like, you know,
okay,
like non-Muslim Indians in America being like extremely fucking anti-Muslim and Islamophobic, thinking
is
that
it your
like,
take?
this will somehow absolve them of the sin of broader Islam that is like, you know, that they are playing into as well. It's like, nope, racists don't give a shit. They think you're brown and a terrorist. Always. I had an idiot keep saying ni hao ma to me, even though I told him I'm not Chinese every time. Oh. Wrong. A pro racist will be able to tell which island of the Philippines you came from. They're like the Terminator for Asians. Okay, you're talking about like dudes who've done the racist reading though. That's different. That's a real
Okay.
That's a real racist. Knowing exactly what kind of slur to use at a specific person is like really scary. Okay, now you're talking about like Olympic level races, like ultra races that are globally competitive races. But anyway, I did my pro China power hour here, as always. I think Vietnam has reason to dislike China for having invaded 4 times. Not gonna lie. No, I never said that like the Vietnamese anger and resentment towards the Chinese is coming from like absolutely nothing. I'm not saying that at all. Anyway, all right. That'll be all for now, because I do have to head out and fly out. And hopefully I got to cover some of the big stories today. But I will be back tomorrow from Melbourne, and we will have some Melbourne-related festivities, right? Fucking hell. Got to take a shower, get ready, take my gear, put it in a bag. I will be watching Shogun. I might just watch it on the flight, actually. God, I'm excited. And yes, as always, I will have the classic. I will, of course, have the classic desktop stream, cover some news before I head on out from Melbourne as well. Don't forget it. Don't worry about it. It's gonna happen. Love you all, mates. And I'll see you next time I see you. I'll be in fucking Melbourne, mate. Peace.
Sunny Los Angeles, California, says her song.
Oh no. Hopefully I can start not from the beginning. Okay, no, I can start from here. Cool.
Reviewing your fingertips on at your door. H3 crowded debate, the Young Turks online show.
Fuck.
3, 4, 5 years of this, plenty more
Alright.
to go.
Alright. Alright. Holy fuck, dude. Wait, now I have to start from the beginning? What is this forest, dude? Hi, Lake. Beginning? This is where I find my sword, I think. Okay. And there were 2 over there. Okay. So where do I go next? Hello, chat. We're zeldering. Oh, there. No. Is there another F? Is there another F? Can you guys hear me? Hello? Nope? Okay, cool. Huh. Okay. I just need to go here, I think. No! Madge. Can I climb this tree? I think you can hide in the trees when it gets to you. Yeah, you can. Damn it. Okay. Fucking Koroks, dude. They're behind us, I swear. Near a shrine? Which direction? Oh, okay. Ha! Interesting. Fuck you. Okay, we save here. Holy moly. We save. So I did just travel really, really slowly. Yep, that's... Yeah, that must be it. You have to just travel really slowly. As soon as you run anywhere, it's an issue. Just slowly, dude. I think I'm fine now, hey? Oh, I found the Korok forest. Ooh. Holy frame rate. Oh my god, is that my sword?
Link, you are our final hope. The fate of Hyrule rests with you.
Who is that? Did I doze off again?
Oh my god, it's a fucking tree, dude.
Well, well. It's you. You finally decided to return. Better late than never. After 100 years, I'd nearly given up hope on seeing you again. Even my patience has limits, you know. That look on your face tells me that you have no recollection of me, however. I have watched over Hyrule since time immemorial. Many have referred to me over the ages as the Deku Tree. That is the weapon created by the ancient goddess. The sword that seals the darkness that only the chosen knight can wield against the Calamity Ganon. Believe it or not, it was actually you who wielded that sword 100 years ago.
I'm old as fuck, dude.
I must warn you to take extreme caution. The sword stands as a test to anyone
Did I miss
who
a
would
sex
dare
scene?
attempt to possess it. As you are now, I cannot say whether you are worthy or not.
I need 13 hearts, don't I?
If you sought to free the sword in any sort of weakened state, you would surely lose your life where you stand. Best of luck, young one.
It cuts through bravado and superficial enhancements. Only true strength can draw from this resting place. The only way to know what it takes is to try. Okay, we'll try it. Okay, we'll come back and get it another time. Where's this shrine? Do I still have to travel slowly through all of this? I'm assuming I don't. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I know. I do. I've got so many fucking Korok seeds. Weapon stash. Yes. Do I ever need to increase my bow stash? Ever? For my shield stash, probably not, hey? Eh. I think that's the final slot. Yeah, it is. Right? That I can't have any more melee stashes, right? I can have... How many slots can I have for melee? Oh, okay, no, I can. I'll increase the bow stash once. Or twice now. Alright. Where is this fucking shrine? Let me guess. It's on the fucking top of that tree, right? Let me guess. Let me guess. Oh no, it's right here. By putting the sword? Yeah, I did. I need 13 hearts. 56 Korok seeds, dude. Insane. Please be a freebie. Never mind. Fateful stars. Look at the stars for guidance, the constellations. A key. Okay, I like this already. So we only have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Okay, let's try this one. So that one's there, there, there. Let's see. What does that do? One, two, three. Now I won't look it up. I'll figure it out. 1, 2, 3. Trying to make that one in the center there. Guess let's put like one last one here. Maybe not. Read it again. Look at the stars for guidance. The constellations are the key. Well, I think this one first wants to be like a... 1... Okay. Two. So 1, 2, 3, which I've got. Okay. Just looking for the same patterns, I guess. This one's out there. What the fuck? Because that extends to that. Do these exist there? 1. Huh. Maybe we have to make 3. Well, if we look at these as like lots of different lines, I guess. One, this would be here. This one would be there. Then there would be one here. And then I have to remove 1, 2. Nope. So that one has got that over there. That one is there. Wait, that one repeats itself there and there. There are repetitions throughout. I think it's the one in the center then. You remember hating this one? Do you think I should get a hint? It looks so confusing. It's just about figuring out... No hints? Okay. No, but keep going. The main thing is like, there's indications here, 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 and here. And I actually think this is counting. And I think this is a 1. And that's a 5. And I'm supposed to see, okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those constellations up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. Then, this one, there's... There is 1, 2, 3 of them. Then, for this one, let me think. Well, there's 2 of the other one. And I guess just 1 of that last one. One, 2, 3. 1, 2. Unless we just take this one out. Because that one there, there's 5 on the map. Okay? There's 5 of those exactly. Right? You broke 10k on TikTok? Let's go, Jason. I should start doing that. Then there is 1, 2, 3 of that one. Okay. Then there's 1 of those in the center there. 1. And there's 2 of those. So unless my numbering system is wrong, and I think maybe it is wrong because I tried it didn't work. So this is 1. This is 2. This is 1 here, and it should actually be 5. And then the 3 changed the same. Oh my god, I did it, dude. Okay, where's my fucking thing? Where is it? Where is my gift? Where's my case? Give it to me. Give it to me. Give me my fucking reward. No, don't. Oh. Okay, fine, we'll do it again. There is 1, 2, 3, 4 of the small one. I'm good at puzzles like this, let's be real. Like, this is where I sort of thrive. Or it's literally just like a New York Times puzzle, let's be real as well. Okay, there's 4 of those. Now, of those ones, let's see. Okay. There is 1, 2. Then of that one, there's 1. And the other one, there are 2. Okay. Two. This one has got more, and I forgot how many it is. That one is 2 as well. No, this one has got 2. And the other one's got 1. Yeah. Sick. Easy fucking puzzle, dude. I like puzzles like that. That was really fun. I hate this weapon. I hate it so much. I hate the fucking Knight's Claymore. It's just so heavy. I don't think I saw the candles marking 1 to 5 the last time. I never saw the candles. I just guessed and changed it around. Okay. Holy moly. I think puzzles in the game are really good. They are my favorite so far. I love games like this. It makes the game for me. You know? Holy moly, dude, this game and the frame rate here is just so fucking bad, dude. Fuck it, we might as well climb it. We can take it slowly. Oh, they've got shops too? Okay, we'll go there now. I probably should wait until it's all done. Knowing games like this, it'll be like, nope. Yeah, it's just when there's too much grass and light that the frame rate is bit weird. The same in the jungle. And what you're seeing, the frame rate's the same for me as it is for you. Don't drink and climb? No, I will. What's this? Hmm? I was having such a nice dream. Wait, if you're here, does that mean you want to face the ultimate trial? What? Ahem. Ultimate trial has begun. I'll tell you a riddle about an object. Your job is to solve the riddle and bring me the correct object. Here comes your first riddle. Small, red, round, and sweet. Bring me one of these as a simple treat. Have you figured it out? I'm guessing you feel stumped? No, I know what it is. Oh, object on the leaf. Okay. Fucking apple, dude. Of course it's an apple. Zelda and apples, okay? It's an apple. That's it. That's it. You got it. Ahem. Next riddle is... Karaka village specialty fruit. Rock hard flesh is quite resolute. Oh. A sultry mushroom will warm your bones. It makes its home in warmer zones. Got it, you got it, you got it. Ahem. The next riddle is... Its scales and tail will zap you, no doubt. This shocking swim is called a fish. Okay, I don't know what that is. We don't have it. We need to find a fish. So good at riddles. What are these? Little korok seeds? Pots? Iron shoot. I shouldn't be hitting them with this. So I need to find a fucking fish, an electric fish, dude. That will zap me. Okay, well once we find it we will come back. Holy moly, dude. Holy frame rate. Oh shit, it's only in the tree. Mr. Hero, are you the hero? Could it be? Welcome to Korok Forest. You're much cooler than I thought you'd be. So to be sure, you're up to the task I prepared a trial for you. What do you think? Do we accept? I'll do it, sure. Alright, show me the rod of power with the rod with power of ice, please. Okay, dude. They just want me to bring them shit. Wow, the frame rate is so bad in this area. Where is this general store? Oh, I'm going in the wrong direction. It's right by the shrine. Inside the Deku tree? Okay. They are cute, but they're fucking annoying. Alright, we're gonna take a break in a second while I go and get, like... It's inside the tree. At the bottom? Or is it like in the tree, like I have to climb up there and get there? Go to where the master sword is and go up its roots? Okay. Oh my god, this frame rate, dude. Hello? What the fuck? Oh, there. It's Mr. Hero. I Mr. Hero came to visit us in the forest. I love that they call me Mr. Hero. Hold on. Oop. Yay, Mr. Hero came to visit us in the forest. What took you so long? Peak sort of a trial that will make Mr. Hero stronger. If you don't have to fight, it's not scary. But you'll need to be extra careful. I want to see a burpee. It's a blue glowy hoppy thing that glows in the dark, just out of Peak's sight. Oh, okay. Okay, okay. Just need to take a photograph of one. I feel like I haven't got a. Feel like I have got a photo of one. Such amazing photography, dude. I know, I do have one. I do have a picture of one, but okay, I guess I didn't know what it was. Of course you have apples. What the fuck is this? And a radish? Mr. Hero. Every single time they call me Mr. Hero, I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Oh god. Mr. Hero. Mr. Barnelli. No, you got weak stock and you will not survive the winter. Fuck, dude. Mr. Borelli. Okay. Alright, I need to eat something. I'm hungry. Mr. Borelli. Okay, I know what we'll watch. While we wait.
May Allah awaken the people and help them to see
like
the evil
7
doings
edits,
of
dude.
Israel and the
Okay,
United
so I know this
States.
sounds bad. Am I the asshole for refusing to pay an artist for her work? I know this sounds bad, but I genuinely don't think I'm at fault here. So I'm currently planning to get my apartment repainted completely
I'll be back in a
just
second.
moved in, and all the walls happen to be white. I was talking to a friend about this when she told me, "Oh my God, did she paint some messed up stuff on the walls?" I can't wait. I was talking to a friend about this, and he told me he had a friend who had just recently graduated art school and was really into wall painting.
Okay.
I told him I didn't want any wall painting done because I had already planned out most of the coloring scheme. I need to get to the point here real quick, but it's kind of a red flag, I think, when you're like, "Oh, I'm a painter." "Oh, really? Like, what do you paint?" "Walls." I was expecting it to be like, watercolors or something like that. I didn't think walls. Anyway, he told me his friend was looking for places to practice wall wall painting because she's new to it and hasn't really found places she could do it without it being vandalism. So I called her up, we had a chat. I said, I don't mind letting you paint the walls of my bedroom because I'm busy for the next few days and it isn't a common living space. I checked with my painters, they told me they could easily paint over that. They're not free for a couple of weeks, so I haven't moved in yet, but I told him to ask his friends to go nuts in my room without scraping or causing any damage. I told her that her work would be painted over. She said she's simply doing it for the practice and wouldn't mind as long as she could take some pictures for her portfolio, and that I would be doing her a huge favor letting her practice. Okay. So far, this seems like a prelude to the classic statement, no good deed goes unpunished. So fast forward a couple weeks, I go to my room, and it's absolutely amazing with a bunch of designs and a lot of edgy art. So I decide I wouldn't get it painted over. Problem is I have a contract with my painter and still have to pay him for my room, even if he doesn't do the job. I called her and told her the room was great and I'd be recommending her to anyone who asked who painted my room. She then, out of the blue, asked me how much I'd be paying her for the work. I told her about my painter situation, that I would have paid her the amount I was paying him if I didn't have a contract. She got mad and told me I was taking advantage of a young artist. She's literally 3 years younger. She said she'd sue me for payment, and I reminded her of our agreement. She said that was done on the basis I wouldn't be keeping it. I told her I was doing her a favor by giving her a place to practice. I never had any monetary obligation. She blew up at me and called our mutual friend, so I explained my situation, how I simply don't have the funds, but he thinks I'm an asshole too. So Reddit, am I the asshole? Did we have to have like a landlord one followed by like an artist not getting paid? Because like, I know that I'm on the chat side in this, genuinely in my soul. Sometimes there are little contextual details in these stories that make it something that can be argued over.
Yeah, I think everyone's the asshole here.
It sounds like in the story, look, in principle, artists should be paid for their work. And in practice,
I mean, yeah, you pay the artist, but what I would say is, like, I can't afford it now. I really want to keep it. Can I just, like, pay you over a few, like, months or whatever? Because, like, yeah, I get it, but it's also just, like, it's a bit of a dickhole move from both sides. You know what I mean? Like, what, you know what I mean? I don't really know how to feel about this. He looks different, he loses weight. The truth is, you don't accept it unless it's explicitly given for free, true. But I mean, it's like in her house. I don't know what to feel in this sort of situation.
They should be paid for their work and probably paid more than they are.
Oh shit, I can't hear him
That
now.
being said, if the arrangement was
hold
set
on.
up...
Give me a second. Give me a second. Hold on. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, let's watch this.
You get to have a practice space, and I'm not good because you, in some situations, you might even charge for a practice space, and then you get paid in the ability to, you know, hone your craft for however long.
The arranged setup was artist
No
needs
other
practice, then it's on
finances are
them. Them or the
exchanging hands,
artist.
and then you ask for money later. That makes OP not the asshole. Is it King Solomon,
also-
the one that's like, there's two people that think they claim to be the mother of the baby, and then the one, they're like, okay, well, they split the baby in half. Like, I don't remember how the story ends. It can't be anything but a gruesome tale. But I'm like, well, it was under the impression that
It would be painted over, yeah.
it was going to be painted over. So I do think that if the artist is not going to get paid, they still have the ownership of the art to the extent that they can force it to be paid over, or painted over, I should say. If you make something cool with your
Yeah.
art to practice with,
No,
And
I
then
get
they
it. I
decide,
get it.
hey,
Like, I
like-
get it, bro. Like, let's say, like, you just wanted to borrow someone's. Let's say you don't have a computer. Okay. I'm taking, like, a really STEM node example, and you're like, hey, can I just borrow your computer? Just to, like, I need to just write a code. Like, and you're like, yeah, no, don't worry. I'm doing a complete wipe of my hard drive afterwards. And then you go and write the code. And they're like, oh, no, this code's actually really fucking good. Actually, I'm not gonna erase my fucking hard drive. I'm gonna keep this code and do whatever the fucking code does. Okay? Then it's like... No, do you understand in that situation how that's weird? Everyone's the arsehole here. No, yeah, actually, no, I'm much more on the artist side now. Come on, like, think about it.
I want to keep it in my room now. I think you could be like, give me, you know, a couple $100, or I'd really like you to paint over it because who knows, you know, like one day
Yeah, it's a bedroom.
this could be worth, well, I don't know. I mean, it's a
matter,
ridiculous
it's still
like
the artist's
argument
property.
to objectivism, but you know, that was the terms of the agreement. So if you want to adhere to them, then we should adhere to them. Where the heck was I here? Edit. I never wanted my room to be painted by an artist and don't have the money to get it done professionally. Can I just say this is the reason you just say no to everything? Maybe this makes me a dickhead. There were times, occasionally, I'll get almost like a ridiculous request via email.
Yeah, just paint over. You know
Someone
what
will
I
be
mean?
like, hey, you know, can you hop on like a call for 10 minutes? We'll talk about this. 10 minutes is nothing. This is what I'm worried about. I'm worried that you're a damn liar and this quick 10-minute call is going to result in an email like 18 months from now that's like, my business failed thanks to you and now you're going to pay. Like this is why you should say no to almost everything, especially if it's not your idea. No, all good deeds, no good deeds.
I guess
remain
so. I guess I understand, but it's like... I know it's like using it as the desktop background instead of deleting. I wouldn't have a fucking problem with it, but there's a lot of time that goes into it. And I don't know. It's like one of those things where I'm like, if someone's uncomfortable with it, just fucking paint over it. I don't think most people would have an issue, but on the rare case that someone does, just fucking paint over it, you know?
Punished. Anyway, moving on. I never wanted my room to be painted by an artist. I don't have the money to get it done professionally. I thought I'd keep it because it looks great, and I could recommend.
It is a dick move though of the artist. Be like, you need to pay me. Like how much are you gonna pay me? Like clearly, it's very clear that like they explained to them, and she explained to the artist like, I've already paid the painters. Yeah. But I also get the fact that it is theirs. And I think the artist does have a right. You know what I think is not cool? I think it's weird that the artist is saying how much are you going to pay me for it. Because it's like, there was no like agreement in the first place. So that's why I think the artist is a dick too. Because it's like, if it was really a fucking massive problem, and I was like, no, I just don't want, like this was not something that was commissioned, I don't want it to be fucking sold. Now they're trying to like get a little bit of money out of having the space that they needed, that they, you know, this, I mean, if we want to make everything transactional, the space was free as well. Like, you know, so I get, the artist is like a dick, but it is their right. Yeah, it's just like really, it's very fucking cringe to do that. Like, I don't think I know anybody who'd be like, oh, now you have to pay me. And I sort of get it. Like, if the person said, look, I'm having a really hard time, and if you're gonna have enjoyment from this for like the rest of your life, or however long you like live in this apartment for, it would be really great if like I could just get a little monetary compensation for it. Like, you know, as much as you can afford, you know, like. But by saying like, I'm gonna fucking sue you, when it's like, you're just trying to get money out of it. It's not like a really the case. Oh, it's weird.
And it to other people who saw it about her. Edit. I did not charge her anything for letting her use my walls for practice. Yes, we're, you know, neither of these make OP's case any stronger, I'd say. I didn't commission her to do it. I didn't even give her any guidelines except not to scrap the walls. This was supposed to be letting her practice and make a portfolio.
To own, though.
I wasn't trying to con her. Okay, so I actually have a lot of sympathy for OP. Because there are people on Earth who have never left the confines of their bedroom, and all of their lived experience comes secondhand from reading things on the internet. And it's like you end up with these situations where there's absolutes, like literally you're trying to exploit this artist. And I can understand why she's probably getting way too many
no, so the art, but
hate
remember,
comments.
the
That being
weird thing
said,
is, like, the artist was like, please, I just want to take a photograph for my portfolio. Like, it's very strange. It's very odd behavior. Like, you know, and also just the way in which the artist was like, you're exploiting me. The person was being fucking nice to you. And if you're going to make it transactional, then so OP has the right to make it transactional as well. Like, actually, okay, then I'm going to fucking charge you for the rented space that you used. You know? Do you see what I mean? Like, it's very weird. Even though the artwork would probably be worth more, it's just like such a strange... I don't know anyone who would be like this, you know?
These are not looking... these are not making her look any better. But anyway, I wasn't trying to con her, for fuck's sake. I thought it wouldn't hurt me to let her practice since I was going to be repainting anyway. I didn't originally plan on keeping the art. Yeah, but you kind of are now, though. You can see, like, you're simply leaving the door open just enough.
Yeah. Even if the wall owner wasn't painting over it, the artist was asking for practice space. Yeah, and you know what's funny? The artist said, yeah, I can't choose any wall I'd like because people would consider that fucking graffiti. Like, dude. Okay, so you were gonna go paint on, like, some random person's wall? Were you gonna paint over it then? It's very weird. You know? Because that's what the artist
for
said.
her to have something to argue with. If you were just like, fine, I'm painting over, then I think it's okay. Then I think nobody would be like, you're the asshole. But I was thinking of paying her a token amount, whatever I can, but now I'm torn because I think that would actually give her grounds to sue. She does not have the right to claim ownership or intellectual property rights of the art right now. I checked, but I don't want to get myself into more hot water for trying to do a good thing. The painters were contracted. There's so many edits and are being paid for me reserving their time, at least from what I understand. It's too late to cancel any charges. Yeah, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just cut from a different cloth. I'm like, why even post the thread? I'll just paint over it. And the painters are going to be there anyway. Turn it into an NFT. Yeah, I think you have an ultimatum. I think you can pay her and keep it. That's the right thing to do. Or you can paint over it and be in the moral right and not pay her anything. It's a strange thing, but it's like, here's the situation, okay? And this is the worst analogy, but I'm laughing my ass off thinking about it. Imagine you had like 2 bites of your sandwich left, right? And then you were like, hey, can you throw this in the garbage for me? And then you handed it to someone, and then they ate it instead of throwing it in the garbage. Would you be like, oh, no harm, no foul? Yes, that's what I would do.
I wouldn't care.
Is it possible that someone would be like, are you going to pay me 50 cents for those 2 bites of sandwich? Because I was of the impression that you were going to throw it in the garbage.
Oh my God.
Destroying it for both of us. But instead,
so fucking
you
transactional.
ate it and thus are receiving some value from it, even though it fundamentally didn't change what I thought was going to happen to the sandwich in the first place. Don't you think it's fair that I get some compensation for the value that you've derived from this? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh no. This right here, OP. Simply tell the artist to make her happy, you'll be repainting the room. Then take as much time as you need to decide what would be even better than the paint that you have right now. A year to malicious compliance. Everyone on Reddit is like, being a good person and like making the situation happy for everybody if possible, that would be great. But you know what would be
sound
even
fine, chat?
greater? Owning somebody on a petty technicality. Keeping their art and also not paying them because
Yeah,
they didn't read
gaslight
the
the
fine
artist,
print on the
dude.
contract we didn't sign.
Classic Reddit,
How about
dude.
this? Am I the asshole for telling my daughter that if she won't stand up for herself, I don't want to hear about it? Your daughter, okay. Well, look, I'm going to tell you, sometimes you just gloss over some of this stuff in the headline and you think to yourself like, oh, well, let's hear it out. Look, I'm only the
Hold on, I
father
need
to
to
a
adjust my
10-month-old
chair.
daughter. She doesn't get into these kind of problems right off the bat. At least I hope not. But simultaneously, it's a good start. Am I the asshole for telling my daughter if she won't stand up for herself? I don't want to hear about it. I divorced my wife almost 20 years ago because her work life became so severely toxic to my mental health. I was developing extreme anger management issues. What a bitch. How? Just immediately, I divorced my wife 20 years ago. I developed anger management issues, but it wasn't my fault at all. I had no agency. Her work life became so toxic, it just made me so mad. To keep it short, it didn't matter who it was. She would not stand up for herself at work. So day after day, she's telling me these work stories about how upset she was. I'd give her suggestions and nothing would change. Things escalated and slowly but surely I'm building a resentment I didn't know was there and found myself angry anytime she would talk about work. She refused to get therapy or do anything to improve her situation. Our marriage slowly fell apart because of it. It wasn't until I decided to get therapy myself because I couldn't control my anger that I realized the relationship itself had become toxic for me. It took a lot longer after that, but we ultimately divorced as a result. Okay. At least he's acknowledging that he has some issues, but the fact that he, you know, despite the fact that he had been married, he didn't pick up on like one of the number one keys for maintaining a human relationship, which is sometimes people just want to vent and they don't want to have their vent where they get their stress out be met with like, well, why didn't you just take one simple solution and do it? You know, sometimes you just got, because maybe the reason, and I'm getting too into this early, but maybe the reason she didn't want to stand up for herself at work is because, as much as this sounds, maybe like a little passive, some things that make you annoyed at work aren't worth getting into like a confrontation over, especially as it might affect your future employment status. Like sometimes shit rolls downhill in an environment like that, and you just got to be like, I'm annoyed as hell, but I'm just going to go home and vent to my spouse because that's like one of the roles they have when you talk about when you exchange vows for richer or poorer. Do you vow to listen even though sometimes a solution will pop into your head that seems like it could fix the entire issue? Do you pledge to recognize that they probably thought about that solution and then thought about, here's the reasons I don't want to do it. So help me God, amen. I don't think you say amen in the vows. I don't remember. Anyway. Fast forward to present day, and my adult daughter is now working in the federal government, and she's letting the same thing happen to her. We talk on the phone every other day.
Oh my
In
god.
the past 3 phone calls, she's complained about the same situation. I've given her... Well, the only thing I could say at this... You think at any point in this guy's treatise, he's like, maybe it's genetic? There's the complaining gene?
He's so...
It couldn't be that, like, literally everybody complains about
He's
their job.
fucking naughty,
it has
dude.
to be... it's just a habit that's been passed down. We talk on the phone every other day. I've given her suggestions and nothing has changed. I immediately recognized my anger building, so I stopped her last night and told her if she can't stand up for herself, I don't want to hear about it. She called me an asshole and hung up on me. Look, men, I'm glad we're talking about anger, our emotions. He got therapy, so on and so forth. But aren't you got an adult daughter who's working for the federal government? That means you got to be like in your mid 40s or older. Like, can't you just deal with it? I know how this sounds, but like, can't you just, push that down and have like one too many Yinglings on the weekend like a normal person? Like, I just don't understand. Yeah, they're your kids. This is what they're there for. They're not just to complain, but at the same time, I think you got to take some responsibility for your awareness here, or for your own well-being. I guess you are, but not in a healthy way. Oh, here we go. I love when an edit comes in and the person has clearly missed the reason that people think that they're an asshole and they're being a little bit judgmental. Here's some instances of me standing up with my wife. She'd be in a team of 5, but because she was very efficient, her team lead super or manager would keep putting more work on her. Even when she had more work that she could do, she would never say no. At one time, she was on 7 projects, and everybody else in her team was on 1. She just wouldn't say, I can't, I'm swamped. I can't, I'm swamped. I would literally suggest you say something like, I'm already on 7 projects. I don't have time. I know X is only on 1 project right now. Have you asked them? That's a great way to get ahead in the corporate politics game. Hey, thanks for giving me more work, but Jessica's not very busy right now. Maybe Jessica could do it? That's a good way to get uninvited to the potluck. She would complain and stress out and have breakdowns before the week started because of work anxiety, but she still wouldn't say no. After years of seeing this happen to my wife, but her never doing anything to change it or to try to improve herself so she'd have the confidence, the anger I was feeling at her workplace was carrying over to her. I couldn't stomach hearing about her work anymore without immediately becoming angry, but I kept bottling it up until I couldn't anymore. Now my daughter is letting the same thing happen to her. So I just keep hearing just hearing about it is immediately putting me back in that place again, and the anger I used to feel is coming up with my daughter. This is I'm a little surprised to see that. I mean, this is literally I can't even scroll further. Anyway, I'll just tell you, it's you're the asshole 43%, not the asshole 39%, which is a little surprising. For me, but I do know that's the Reddit demographic as well. I think there might be a lot of, let's say, younger people who are like, well, if she didn't want a solution to the problem, she shouldn't have been talking about it in the first place, you know? And by the way, I so often hear this as women don't want a solution to their problem, they just want to complain, whereas men are like hardwired to be like solutions providers. And I'm like, I think I bought into that like Kool-Aid when I was in my early 20s, but now I'm like, dude, I just love to complain all the time.
So true.
Sometimes I'll just go into the Discord and I'll complain about like a stranger I saw. I'll be like, you won't believe this moron that I saw at the grocery store yesterday. People don't go like, oh, you know, they should go up and tell them to modify their behavior. They just drop middle finger emojis and say, give them one of those next time. And I'm like, hell yeah. Complaining's just, it's part of the human nature, you know? Anyway, I would say before we look at the update, absolutely the asshole. Look, I think you got to separate the concerns here, right? Is it okay to not love hearing someone complain about something that seems easily fixable? Yeah. And if it was like someone that's a little bit further outside of like your sphere of influence, then, you know, you'd be like, hey, if you're just going to constantly complain about this stuff, you ever thought about adjusting your behavior? Then, you know, you could say that maybe to a friend or to an acquaintance and get away with it. But to a spouse, that's really like, that's part of the foundational duties, I think, which is like, I mean, again, I made a joke about how it's part of the vows, but like, much of the communication that happens between spouses is probably just like bitching about stuff that happened at work that day. You get it out, I get it out, and then it's okay. What do you want for dinner? 2 hours later, we decide and we eat, then we go to bed. Like that's basically what it's all about. So if you're not up for that, that doesn't make them the asshole. It does mean that you know maybe you did the right thing by getting divorced. But I think he's also realizing that literally everybody does this. Like I don't believe it's. This is like a just the mother and daughter situation. I think pretty much everybody that he talks to in his life must bitch about work now and then, but simultaneously everybody else he can just like walk away from. So yeah, I think it does make him the asshole. I mean, I hate to be like, as the husband or father, your role is just to lay down and go like, yeah, okay, wow, she sucks, wow, that's crazy. But like, yeah, pretty much, you kind of gotta. And you recognize that they do it for you as well. Or maybe, like, if they don't do it for you, you should start venting a little bit more. When you have a bad day at work, instead of just shoving it down inside, you should start going off. Oh, Lord. Every time. I wanted to lead by clearing up a few things. My wife and I were married for 7 years before my anger issues manifested. I was her emotional support for even longer. She introduced me to some solutions and support. We had our own rules. On our daily walks, I just listened. If she spoke about work at home, it meant we could discuss it. Normal, just a very normal sort of arrangement to have with your spouse. On our walks, you can complain. That's the safe spot for complaining. When we're within the confines of the home, any complaining is met with a solutions-based response. I did tell her she needs to get help, but that was at the end of our relationship. She refused couples therapy, personal therapy, and insisted it was my responsibility to be there for her. Okay, well, let me just say, that does make her kind of the asshole if we take this as true. You know, you refusing to be involved, her refusing to be involved in therapy makes her kind of the asshole. Sure, okay. My daughter is nearing 30 years old. She is not a child. And I'm happy to say we have a great relationship. Her regular calls should be proof of that. She did call me an asshole, though. For those wondering why my anger is hard to control, here's why it's different for me than other people. Prior, I never really got angry. I was raised with the belief that if something happens, it's happened. You got no control over it, so don't let it bother you. I never had much of an experience with anger because of this. When I started to feel it, I just bottled everything. I ignorantly believed that I had control. Update. I had a Zoom call with my children. I started by apologizing to my daughter. Okay, acceptable. I've never spoken to either of them about why their mother and I divorced, so I explained it to them as minimally as I could. I confessed my mental health struggles with anger. I made it clear it wasn't her fault. Now they have the whole picture. Again, I'm just like, React's Cord wouldn't exist if this were the case, but yeah, this is like, I mean, it's just, it just scares me that like a father to a 30-year-old woman is like, before I thought to apologize, I just ran it by Reddit first to make sure I wasn't gonna, beta myself or something like that. But anyway, the conversation went well. I answered their questions as best as I could. I reassured my daughter she can always speak to me and she can vent to me. Little sus, but that's okay. She asked if it would help if she let me know ahead of time that she wants to vent about work, and it was embarrassing, but I asked if she could. We agreed that she'll text me bad work day, and if I'm able to, I'll call her. My son didn't have much to say, but he did tell his sister she can call him to vent too. Okay, that, if it works, it works. But again, I don't know. Maybe I'm idealizing the situation where I'm like, I think if you're the dad, you kind of gotta, look, it's good, probable mental health like quarantining. But I do, when I look to myself as being like if I'm like 60 and my daughter's in her 30s or getting to be in her 30s, and she texts me like bad work day, and I'm like, sorry, I'm not in the right headspace to help you out right now. I'm like, I kind of feel like that if you got to do it for self-care, you got to do it for self-care. But at the same time, I'm like, this is kind of your role as the father, I guess. But anyway, whatever. If it works for them, it works for them. Different stuff for different people. What you got to do, you got to find your daughter a spouse. I think that's my asshole solution to this, which is that I think you need to, this is like an unethical life pro tip. You need to find your daughter a spouse that can receive the venting instead of you. Because it sounds like he wants to live in a world where nobody else ever talks about their problems.
Oh my God.
So I think at this point, you got to start being the matchmaker for your daughter. You got to be like, hey, I've lined up a series of great listeners. Pick one. But then what if she has to vent about her husband? No, I think that's a sibling thing. I think then she texts the brother and says, bad marriage day. Anyway, not much else to say. Thank you to everyone for your kindness and time. For everyone who was hostile with me, I hope you find your own peace. I love that, man. Look, he seems like he came to the end of being a nice guy. But I love that he was kind of like an asshole in the first post. But then at the end of the second one, he's like, I hope you find a way to get rid of your anger someday. Anyway, still, that's a good ending. Again, it might not be the way that I would ideally solve this problem, but if they were able to come to a solution, like as a result of that, then who am I to judge, right? Who am I to say that that's not okay? Am I the asshole for kicking my mother-in-law out of
Made
family
it.
dinner after she said my lasagna tasted like freezer lasagna? Yes, absolutely.
Oh my god.
Don't even need to read it. Anytime you kick your spouse's mom out of family dinner, you're on an uphill battle to have the moral high ground. Like they could pull down their pants, take a crap on the carpet. They could, insult your kid or something like that. But even just insulting the food, it's tough to tell them to get out, I guess. Anyway, it's early. Let's see. Mother-in-law is a fairly typical passive-aggressive mother-in-law. Tell me you hate
Do I need the rusty
women
shield?
without telling me you hate women. She's a fairly typical passive-aggressive mother-in-law. You know how they are. Nice to my face, but the food is only ever fine. She purses her
God,
lips at my parenting.
Feed me the age shield
My
guarded
food
by
is only ever fine, but everything that my sister-in-law cooks is heaven sent. Sister-in-law married the favorite son and gives mother-in-law unlimited access to the grandkids. This is spicy. We had a big family dinner the other night, and my husband brought up how she is about my food. He said it in the kitchen out of earshot of mother-in-law. Brother-in-law decided to do a test and had father-in-law, her ex, cover her eyes and asked her to try something. First of all, there was literally 10 minutes of back and forth about her being convinced it was a cockroach. So by the time she got it into her mouth, it was probably cold. So the mother-in-law, she thought that her family was going to be like, hey, close your eyes, we're going to feed you a cockroach. I wouldn't cross my mind whatsoever, but anyway. Then there was some shrieking because they were laughing, so she was convinced they did something to her. Then more shrieking because she wanted her eyes uncovered, so father-in-law finally let her go and said it was fine. She said it was fine. It tasted like frozen lasagna. Brother-in-law shrugged and said, sorry, I guess she doesn't like your cooking. Mother-in-law asked if I cooked it, giggled, and then said they shouldn't have put her on the spot. Everyone was laughing, and I was just over it. I said that was what I cooked for dinner. If she didn't like it, she could leave. Mother-in-law said it was fine, and her new husband tried to make a joke that it was better than cockroaches, but that did not go over well. That's me at the family gathering when things get awkward, too. I'll be like, hey, at least it's better than cockroaches. And everyone shoots you a look like, shut the fuck up. This goes deep, man. This is resentment that started building before you were even a twinkle in this family. We didn't even know who the hell you were when the roots for this one started to take hold. I said she should leave, and she acted all confused. Mother-in-law left with her husband and brother-in-law and sister-in-law. Went after them. Father-in-law defended her and said I was being too sensitive, but my husband took my side. Finally, it doesn't happen that often. 53 minutes of React Court. We have the first sane husband, who I have to imagine in his head was probably like, this is all very silly, but I know my role. He said, she can't come back until she apologized. Now sister-in-law and brother-in-law are saying, I set her up, I'm a crybaby, and I just wanted a reason to kick her out. This is just like so many steps to get mad, you know? Like it's such an elaborate kind of Rube Goldberg machine to make yourself upset. Can I also say, though, that it's possible that her sister-in-law is just either a better cook or alternatively cooks food that's more to the liking of a, middle-aged American woman, which could happen. Sure, I'm assuming it's American because it's...
Oh, great. It's another shrine. Let's go.
Okay, so you have a scientific hypothesis. You set up a test. So far, this is relatively okay scientific method, right? You say, let's feed her this lasagna, because my base case is that I know that this shit fire, and we're going to cover her eyes, and then when she eats it, she'll give her honest opinion. If she says it's good, which 100% is what's going to happen, that's where she deviated from the scientific method. Your null hypothesis is supposed to be deniability, I think, most of the time. But anyway, if she says it's good, then I'll be like, gotcha. And then all this will be water under the bridge. Surely there will be no other implications. If she says it sucks, then I'll get mad and kick her out of my house. Maybe this is maybe this is an entitled thing to say, or maybe this is just ego driven. But when I trust my own palate to some extent, you know, I know what I like. When I eat something that I cooked and it's delicious, I'm like, it's delicious. If somebody was like, yeah, it's okay, I'd be like, oh, sorry, my bad. But in my head, I'd be like, your palate fucking blows, lady. This shit is fire. Are you kidding me? This is delicious. I get, though, that, you know, you're in a big family situation. There's some jockeying for position, you know. It's you watch too much Succession. You're trying to figure out where you are in the family dynamic. Are you more of like a cousin Ed, or are you the heir apparent? So, like, I get that part of it. But I'm just like, it seems like a lot of overreacting for something that's so small. I think there's like if I'm being legitimate, I think there's like a 25% floor for not the asshole, because floor. OP always writes the post, right? Like when OP writes the post, they always make it seem like, here's this issue that's so important to me, and then my mother-in-law, who's like a typical mother-in-law, she's fairly passive-aggressive, kind of a bitch. You know, fairly typical. Okay,
before I get my next heart, I'm going to do all the shrines
I don't know why
first.
I take so much issue with that. It's like, it's just such an unnecessary detail that says so much about the character of the poster, I think. They could have just been like, you know, they could have just cut the sentence out and not put that evil on all mother-in-laws. They could have just, like, a mother-in-law is not even like a role. You know, it's like all women who have kids who have been married. That's like, it's probably like 15% of the population. It's such a huge generalization. It might even be more than that, but I'm just doing some back of the napkin. Anyway, I'm kind of, and I'm not trying to make you mad, chat, but I am kind of losing my mind at the number of people in chat who are like, what they should have done is taken the sister-in-law's food and then blindfolded the mother-in-law and see if she said she liked. They tell her that it's the OP's food, but it's actually the sister-in-law's. I'm like, sure, you can probably design the experiment to be double-blind, scientifically valid, repeatable, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe you could get 100,000 mother-in-laws that are, you know, across multiple demographics and classes and so on and so forth, income levels, and then, you know, the various self-reported degrees of lasagna enjoyment. I think it's more like this situation shouldn't have come to pass in the first place. But, dude, I'm stealing from chat now, but they gave me a great idea. What about a reality show? Oh, this shit was slap, man. What about a reality show? It's a cooking competition. Like the mother-in-law from two families cook their best dish together, like to compete against one another, and then like Gordon Ramsay judges who the best chef of the mother-in-laws is. Oh man, now that would be a show. You could see the fireworks flying. Oh, and here for the 400th time this season, we have Hot Dish. This is Greta's Hot Dish. Am I the asshole for not wanting our son to bring women into our house in the middle of the night? Oh, no. Let's see. Arguments are horrific. That's just, I don't know. Why does it start like a song by The National or something? Arguments are horrific. The arguments arise regarding our oldest son, 25, and his refusal to adhere to a rule that neither his longtime, short-term, temporary, etc. girlfriends are allowed to come in our house in the middle of the night. Unfortunately, our 25-year-old son, he continues to flaunt. Our sexy hunk son continues to flaunt this rule. Hey, Mom and Dad, I'm not just going to bang this girl in the bushes like you want. I'm going to go home to my safe, warm bed. As background, this issue came to head a number of years ago when we told our son his longtime girlfriend could no longer come upstairs after 10 p.m. where we have our family bedrooms. 2 days after we implemented this rule, he was caught breaking it. He did it again a few years later. honest question, dude, are you stupid? This is insane. Like, this is in my opinion, kind of almost an insane rule to have, even for like a, you know, a teenage child, to be like, you can't have your boyfriend or girlfriend upstairs after 10. But a 25-year-old is well beyond kind of the bounds of absurdity. Since then, there are numerous instances of girls we know and girls we don't know that come and go into our home at all hours of the night. The latest occurred with this long-term girlfriend being snuck into the house at 5:30 and leaving before the house awakened. The security cameras caught them purposely trying to be avoided. I feel
Where's
like
this fucking
I
car,
need to
dude?
raise another concern here, which is, if the only way you can notice this stuff happening is on the security cameras and
then
no crimes are being committed, then who cares? If your 25-year-old son snuck his girlfriend in at 5:30 for like an hour and a half and you only notice later that day when you poured over the security footage like a psycho, then what's the big deal? My wife and I decided that even though he was 25, he would have a curfew from 12 a.m. to 7 a.m. Where, by the way, this is not the asshole, is the flare here. I'm dying.
What?
My wife and I decided that even though he's 25, he would have a curfew from 12 a.m. to 7 a.m., whereby he either had to be home by midnight and stay home, or had to stay out until the next morning. Oh, this curfew was a means to address these issues and was created jointly between my wife and I. Both of the parties involved, me and my wife, who side on the same issue, and also my wife is always capitalized, which is truly hilarious. But didn't even ask the child. Okay, my wife communicated this curfew to him 2 days ago. I refuse to speak to him because he's bigger and stronger than me. Last night he came home at 1:50 a.m. 2 days after the new rule. It was broken. He did call my wife to ask if he could come home late, and she agreed. So it sounds like he actually didn't really break the rule. It sounds like he got permission to break the rule, actually. I told her that I was shocked he would have the nerve to even ask 2 days after
They
breaking
did
our
make me
only
leave the fucking
real rule,
forest.
except for the other rule. This resulted in another huge argument in that I feel like the lack of retribution is the root cause of why he keeps breaking the rule. Why wouldn't he keep breaking
Dumbass
the rule?
carbs.
The only thing that happens is my wife and I fight as a result. This guy's actually like my son. We've got to remove the safety net and let my son hit rock bottom. This destructive habit of coming home after midnight and sleeping with his girlfriend in his own bedroom is too much. He's going down a bad path. I feel it is fair and reasonable to not allow our 25-year-old son to bring his girls to our home in the middle of the night, and while my wife agrees, this continues to happen and be a source of arguments. Her perspective is that I have it in for him, and my perspective is simple. Just show us the necessary respect by doing exactly what I say at all times and follow this pretty obvious rule and also the other obvious rule. I'm being called the asshole because I won't let this issue go, and it's a recurring source of arguments, as I feel is a lack of respect which is fundamental and shouldn't be let go. How about the lack of respect that you've got for your adult son, who was probably like the age that you were when you had him in the first place? My wife thinks I'm the asshole for not letting the issue go and for not waiting until he eventually moves out. I am dying. Not the asshole, 63%. What? I already know what the comments are going to be, but I am going to read them. You know as well as I do what it's going to be. We'll say it on 3. 3, 2, 1. Your house, your rules. Even if you told him he had to strip naked when he comes in and get deloused, even though he's an adult with autonomy and you should have your son's best interest in mind and, et cetera, et cetera. If you pay the mortgage, then legally it's not, you're the jurisdiction, you're the warden of the prison, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, yeah, also maybe a little jealousy because it sounds like the son is just laying pipe 24/7. You know what? Not the asshole. It serves him right. If you're gonna fuck in the daytime, mister. Not the asshole, but you need to enforce these rules. Hold on.
Okay, let's just go here.
Tell me more
I just want to
about
go
this
here.
part. Not the asshole, but you need to enforce these rules. You either need to start being a boner killer and banging on his bedroom door when he brings these women home. But that would require the father to wake up when it actually happens instead of merely poring over the security footage like a fucking psycho the next day. Or you can put an extra set of deadbolts on the door that get locked at midnight and unlocked at 7 a.m. Holy crap, you guys are insane. Anybody else lock their son out of their house because I don't like when he stays out a little bit late? Don't get me wrong, like, someone coming home at 4 a.m., like, if I woke up, would be annoying for me. Coming home at, like, 12:30, I would be like, he's 25. He's 25 years old. Also, you should tell your wife that your son is never actually gonna move out. How would you know this at all? Why bother when he can do whatever he wants, whenever he wants, with no consequences, and have someone to keep the house clean? This has to be an alt for the OP. It's the only, I'm
gonna lose my mind.
I'm not even gonna get into the economics of whatever, just like, do you think the kid really, like, if he had options, he would be like, oh, I love living at home and getting harassed by my dad for, like, going to bed at 1 a.m., even though I'm an adult. I'm also, I don't know if this was, like, edited or something, but the kid's 25 years old, has no job, accused his dad of having it out for him when he was told to get a job, and pays no rent. Like, none of that is actually located in the post. Maybe that was edited later? I don't know. It sounds like he made that up. Everybody sucks here. Your son is the asshole for not respecting the rules of your house. However, you and your wife are as well for allowing it to continue for so long. I am dying that there is... We're only 2 parent comments in here, but I am dying that nobody has said your rules are ridiculous and have gone too far, and instead everybody else is just like, you're the asshole for not enforcing your totally sensible rules. Not the asshole. Why are you coddling a man in his mid-20s by allowing him to sleep in his bedroom when he pleases, and apparently doesn't even, like, wake you up? You got to see the security footage after. I got the impression this is more about them not wanting to be awoken by the sound of ham slaps more than trying to coddle their son. So good. Ham slaps. Not the asshole. It's not his house, it's yours. If he wants to do whatever he wants, then he could just buy his own, house. He's the asshole, not you. He's being disrespectful by not listening to you. Holy crap, man. This is crazy. Yeah, I don't know why, and I don't think this is, I always default to the idea that it's like an American thing, and I don't think that's fair. I'm just realizing homeowners have lost their mind. As one myself. I'm like, look, I don't even make the rules in my own house, so maybe this is just par for the course for me to be a little bit lackadaisical about it. But I'm like, when you have, like, a kid, like, you can say your house, your rules, but at the same time, like, I feel like the kind of parental love you have for your son has to, make it a little bit more accommodating for that as well. Is this a rule as well that I'm not... this is why you need a notary public. If you pay the mortgage, you're the only person legally allowed to fuck in that house. Please do not let the landlords figure this out, because it's going to be written as a clause into every lease. You really trying to fuck in the garage that I converted into an illegal suite? No ham slaps allowed, honey. This is insane. I would never disrespect my parents by having sex in their home, while they were there. When they weren't there, it was open season, man. Not the asshole, but isn't it a little late to demand respect from your 25-year-old since he violates your rules every chance he gets? Do people... I can't believe I'm spending like half an hour just on this one specific post, but it's the first Am I the Asshole post I've ever seen where I disagree so much with the consensus.
No.
Like, this one's blowing me away. I think you gotta realize, like, there's 2 reasons that someone might break your rule, okay? One of the rules is...
Fucking
one of the reasons someone might break your rule is because they don't have respect. The other one might be that your rule just is stupid. Like, Your rule might just actually suck, and you've designed it in such a way that there's essentially no way to comply with it. You know, if you made a rule that was like no eating, and then someone was like, hey, 12 hours later, he was breaking it. He couldn't even make it a month. I mean, it's... Anyway. Not the asshole. Okay. Your house, your rules. When he has a place he pays for, he can have his own rules. Sounds like he needs a job and an apartment. Thanks,
Oh my God.
Catcher. I do find this part weird. Or he had to stay out until the next
Northern
morning.
Line's got
I'd
some
rather have my kid home
incredibly,
if he's got nowhere
incredibly
else
based
to go.
takes.
Like, what's the point of that? What's the desired effect?
To the
By the
point
way,
that
you're not
people
the
would
asshole.
find it
Your
pretty
house, your
shocking,
rules.
like how based
If
he
he wants to break the rules, he can get his own fucking apartment. He can pull himself up by his bootstraps. By the way, this one part of your post specifically, I think, makes you an asshole. Not the asshole, by the way. You're not an asshole, but I agree with you 100%, except for this one specific part that I think makes you an asshole, but you're not the asshole. Okay. Hi, he does not pay rent or any house bills. Okay. So this is where some of the info came from. He's 25 years old. Kick him out. This is, you're going to make me cyberbully, man. This is where you then go into their post history and figure out what else they're posting. If they ever posted anything about the economy being fucked up or like minimum wage being too low, that's where you go into the post history and you're like, oh really? Because you were advocating for someone who's 25 years old to get kicked out of their parents'
can you let
house
me
just 'cause you're
fucking
jealous
like
that they're
get
laying
to the
pipe
fucking
constantly.
place where you want me to go?
Dude, I'm dying at this stuff. Not the asshole. It's your home, your rules. You make the rules. If he wants to make the rules, he needs his own place. He needs to grown up and GTFO of your house. He's acting like a baby. I'm surprised a woman, the air quotes don't even make any sense, would even date someone. Oh, you know what? Because here's what he's saying.
Okay, we go back.
Any woman that would date somebody who doesn't respect his father's curfew is not a woman. They're merely a girl. I understand. That's what he's saying there. By the way, he's getting super entitled, and that isn't going to change. Source, dude, just trust me. You should give him a 60-day notice to evict. This will help him grow up. I know it works from experience. A post that I read on the Turning Point USA forums.
He's so
Holy
based,
shit.
dude.
It's his home too. Minus 13 posts. Oh, no, it isn't. He doesn't even pay rent or help with the bills. Besides, there's a pandemic. Bringing strangers home is dangerous. But not between the hours of 7 a.m. and midnight. That's when the virus sleeps. Oh man, what a post! I mean, that one. Whew, I got a lot of meat out of that one. Am I the asshole for refusing to contact a restaurant about an unwanted curry? Is this not literally like we talked about this? I'll just before I even put it up on the screen. I'll put it up, but before I read it, I'll just tell you we've done this before, and I talked about it. If DoorDash sends me food I didn't ask for, like more food on top of the food that I originally ordered, dead prawns tell no tales. I'm keeping it. When I ordered the food, I didn't ask for a job, where now I've got to be the steward of this food and make sure that the humble DoorDash corporation knows where to, because it's not like the One Ring, DoorDash could just refund the other driver or refund the other customer. And they'd probably prefer that, honestly, as opposed to getting I don't even know if there's a process for giving the food back, if that makes sense, and then getting it to its real destination. But I think if someone was like, oh, your food got lost, it'll take an hour to get there, I'd be like, nah, man, just give me the refund. Anyway, my girlfriend is making me feel fucking insane right now, so I need a reality check ASAP before I explode. My girlfriend came over to dinner at my apartment. Well, how old are you?
I love Northern Line so much.
My girlfriend, age, came over to dinner at my age apartment tonight, and we ordered Thai. Oh, Jack talked Thai. Jack talked Thai very well. When we got it, there was a curry dish that neither of us ordered. I double-checked the receipt, and I wasn't charged for it. So I was like, sweet, free food. She told me I should call the restaurant, and I said, fuck that, they're fuck up. Why should I spend a second thinking about it? I'm just going to say, and maybe you're in a different kind of relationship, it's kind of like aggressive wording. Like, it's just a little too, like, it's just sharp. Like, it even though I agree with the principle, it kind of offends me just hearing it. It's Crashmore. He took the Crashmore pill. Fuck that, they're fuck up. Why should I spend a second thinking about it? Bullshit. And she said the curry could be for someone else's, and that they could fix the mistake if I called. I told her she was being ridiculous, and that if someone didn't get their fucking what in the hell is wrong?
Okay.
If they didn't get their fucking curry, they could call the restaurant themselves, and that it wasn't my problem. She got all pissy and said I had a moral obligation. I'm not kidding, semicolon. Those are the exact words she used, colon, moral obligation to let the restaurant know. This post was brought to you by Charles Bukowski. I told her that she had to be kidding, but if she wanted to call a restaurant, she was more than fucking welcome to. She obviously didn't
Finally,
do that
we
because
found
who
it.
the
Oh
fuck
my God.
would and just sulked, ate quickly, and left? I can't imagine why. I think she's off her fucking rocker. But I'm here to ask the moral philosophers on this sub if informing the restaurant about a fuck-up is actually a moral obligation. Quick answers preferred, because if I'm the asshole, which I sincerely doubt I am, obviously, I'll apologize. Update, last night while I was in the middle of writing another defensive comment here, I realized how pathetic I was being, arguing with strangers on the internet instead of actually being with my girl, who I love to death. I called her and apologized. Told her she was right about the whole thing and that I acted like a complete dick. She said she was sorry and that she felt I had backed her into a corner with my initial reaction and that she was just being stubborn. We're both stubborn people, so I completely get it. We laughed at the moral obligation comment and that was it. We're all good now.
Okay.
I completely agree with, I just saw it in chat. Somebody said, not the asshole, but the asshole. It's like, you're not the asshole for refusing to contact the restaurant about the unwanted curry, but you were the asshole for the way that you spoke to your girlfriend, and also the way that you wrote the post is just dripping with asshole energy, you know, top to bottom.
What
I'm
the fuck?
not angry about the amount of F words. I don't get offended necessarily by you know, cursing. My favorite comedian is not Brian Regan. But just the you know, they carry a certain kind of tone. If someone asks you to do something and you use the F word like 4 times in your reply, basically what you're saying is you're a fucking idiot for ever asking me to do that in the first place. I'm smarter than you. How could you be so dumb as to ever suggest that in the first place? Why don't you do it if you want it done so fucking bad? Why don't you do it yourself then? Like, it's just it makes you seem like a piece of garbage.
I'm assuming if I get hit, then that's an issue.
He could be swearing politely. My girlfriend told me I should call the restaurant. I said, fuck that. It's their fuck up. Why should I spend even a second thinking about it? I don't want anyone to have the worst day at their boyfriend's house ever, by the way. Do any of those fucking curries ever pop out the fucking bag with like a huge refund? And, you know, it's just very uncomfortable, right? She obviously didn't do that because who the fuck would just sulked? Women, right? Ate quickly and left. It's not a big deal. I just insinuated that the thing you asked me to do was the dumbest thing you've ever had in your entire life. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my... And she's going to get all pissy about it. His words, not mine. She got all pissy. You know what you should have done? And it's easy to say in hindsight. Instead of making it butting heads, I feel like you should have looped her in like you guys had just done a heist. You could have been like, well, we could call the restaurant. I agree. That would be like the nice thing to do. On the other hand, isn't it true that a stolen curry tastes the sweetest? And then you could be like, oh, we're so bad. And then you got a little, and then for years in the future, you've got this You know, anytime you like, you know, illegally park or something, you could be like, hey, you know, you knew you were dating a bad boy as soon as we got that stolen curry. And then she'd be like, oh, you know, you'd have this little shared history going on instead of like, what the, he said that? He's not killing me. You know, it's just, there's so many different ways you could have spun what an actually like good thing is into like,
Oh my god, fucking leave me
with
alone.
the positive that it actually is. Trying something a little different today. We're gonna be, for React Court, just having a laugh, less judgmenting and more just having a laugh with the OP at a restaurant's expense. So we're at a subreddit here called We Want Plates, and We Want Plates is for
Hopefully I don't get into
restaurants
trouble
that serve
using this.
food in unorthodox ways. I mean, you can see the About community. We Want
Oh my
Plates.
God.
Crusades against serving foods on bits of wood and roof tiles, chips in mugs, and drinks in jam jars. By the way, you ever feel like your computer's spying on you? We said the words OnlyFans like 20 times in the last React Court. Guess
Where's
what
the
our
other one?
advertisement's for? You mind if
Okay.
Bitcoin's in there, you little shit? Friend of mine went to a restaurant and their starter came in a book. Okay. Is this is just pictures of the food to be what is okay, so there's like some pancetta or some is this a charcuterie board? Oh, okay, this is
Oh my
I
god, why
understand
would
what
anybody
they're going for
why would
here.
anybody serve stuff
but
on that
also
plate?
it seems like kind of I get what they're going for, but it seems kind of disgusting. Okay, so what appears to be happening here is, you know, sometimes and this happens, okay? You go out to a restaurant, you get
Oh my God,
charcuterie,
fuck you.
they bring out the board, and they hit you with an info dump. This is Tillamook cheddar cheese from Wisconsin. This is Casamarsa that we got from Sicily. This is blah blah. This is Hungarian black pepper salami, and they're hitting you with yeah, and there's the din of the music, and you're like, I don't know what any of this stuff means to begin with in the first place. So the idea that you have, sorry, from Oregon, Tillamook from Oregon, I apologize. The idea that as you were like eating, you could follow what you were eating with some context could enhance the dining experience, but is absolutely disgusting that the meat is just wedged between pieces of paper and then like is greasing up a little, you know, fat trap there. It's just, and even just, it's already gross to peel sticky pages. But then to peel sticky pages and eat the food that resides inside of it just seems very unappetizing to me. You know, in every cook's life, I think you struggle with presentation. You know, I've had some culinary sins before in my life. I used to sometimes marinate a steak in Budweiser, thinking that was like a really cool guy, sophisticated thing to do. Is like, oh, waste of beer marinating a steak. Shit beer turned into shit steak. Honestly, one of the meals I cooked all the time in like my second year of college was like a chicken breast, slap it on the George Foreman grill, then salsa on top of the chicken breast, and then cheddar cheese on top of the
So
salsa,
close.
and then just squeeze that George Foreman grill down as hard as I could. So I'm sure that I've done some questionable things when it comes to food and food presentation.
Oh god.
This is just one of those things where you're like, why? I don't like any food where, like, to me, this just looks like a liability. My beef Guinness pie. This, on the other hand, is absolutely heinous. Typically, this is a dish that would not be mixed together, right? It would be like kind of filling on the bottom and then mashed potatoes on the top, and then you would take a spoonful and eat it like that. That's correct. It's not meant to be mixed together. Okay, so here's my question. It's a multi-part one. Sorry, Guinness is in English, but like this, to me, this just looks like England.
Okay. Let's go.
This does not necessarily look like it's served at the Guinness brewery itself, but here's what I'm saying. So, do they want you to use the spoon to try to cut to dip a cross section out and eat it out of the glass? Because if so, I have a lot of problems. One being the filling to potato ratio is all fucked up. Like, you want that to be a little wider, because otherwise it's like,
That's fucking terrible.
I mean, it's just too damn tall, right? And then the other one would be,
bro, that's
do you scrape
insane.
it out of the glass onto the plate?
I'm no longer banned
In
from
which
high
case,
sport.
it
Let's
wouldn't
go.
be mashed potatoes on the top anymore. It would be mashed potatoes on the bottom. I get it also, by the way. Like, you're supposed to drop a shot of Jameson in here and chug it all. Yeah, can I get a beef Guinness pie Boilermaker, please? Can I get a Guinness pie bomb? Can you imagine? Honestly, I have a strong imagination stomach, and just thinking about trying to chug something with this consistency made me a little sick to my stomach. But this is one of those ideas you'd see on Kitchen Nightmares where you're like, the chef would be like, so get this,
Thank
it's
you,
Guinness
Kitty Kitsune, for the
pie,
raid.
but we put it in the cup to
Didn't realize
look
you
like a
streamed.
Guinness pint. And I think Gordon Ramsay would be like, have you ever thought about the radical idea of just making it look normal and taste good instead of, I don't go to a restaurant to be like, wow, the food that I'm eating looks like one of the things it's made with. Anyway, I love the broccolini. Also, the considering that this presentation, and I'm not saying it's inspired in a good way, but they put some thought into this. The rest of it is so embarrassing. For the spectacle of this pint glass of Guinness, it's just like a little spoon and a bunch of, broccolini sitting on the side. Like, it just looks so depressing. The long spoon is also, it's kind of like prison, right?
Okay.
Like, this looks like an airplane spoon or something, but oh man. How am I supposed to eat this? Is this a challenge? Okay.
How was Zelda? We're
At
still
first
playing.
I was like, I've seen some flaming dishes before in my life, but when the wind picks up and it starts
Probably for another hour. Oh no.
it actually the flames get like a 6-inch spread on them when the wind picks up. That's a little much. I guess you gotta reach in over the top to try to grab it. Plin plin plon. It's very this seems like serious liability. Oh, this next one is gross, man. Our corn chips were served in a rusty bucket. This one's pretty self-explanatory. I don't know what you could even comment upon on this one, but imagine getting to the bottom of the corn chips and it's just the bucket's all rusted out. Oh man, they ate it. I might eat it too, honestly. Like I could get over myself for this one, but maybe it's not rust. Okay, maybe it's seasoning, but you gotta get. I mean, it looks a lot like rust for one. Whether it looks like shit is maybe just as maybe not just as important, but you get the idea. It's definitely rust. I'm just saying, if it looks like a bird crapped on your food, then even if they're like, oh, it's not bird crap, it's aioli, you'd be like, there's seeds in it. Pasta sauce bread in a wire cone. Serious, just why energy radiating off of this. How am I supposed to eat this? It just looks fucking horrible. How are you supposed to eat it?
Without being seen.
One yet. It's just disgusting. Are you supposed to eat it with a knife and fork, or do you grab it with your hands? Can you imagine eating a calzone, but inside of the calzone is a bunch of noodles and fettuccine Alfredo, man? I think I would straight up throw up, to be honest with you. I don't think I could do it. I hate when you get served a really saucy food in a pretty flat plate. Just give some flatware that has like a raised edge so that I'm not constantly babysitting like a pile of gravy to make sure it goes off the table. But this is like nothing compared to Shu Boba. What do you think you would start with here? Do you think you would start with the heel, or you know what it is? It's nice that you could actually you could share this maybe with like someone that just wanted to try boba for the first time ever. You could be like, I'll take the toe and you can take the heel. See if you like it. This is I have to imagine that this is more expensive than it deserves to be. Plus, you're absolutely right. Shu Boba, I believe, was Anakin Skywalker's nemesis from the first Star Wars pod racing.
Okay, dude. This fucking
Crepes
animation,
served
dude.
as babushka barbe.
I can't skip it.
The thing that is so great about this is that it's being weighed at like the grocery store right now. Like, this is not a restaurant serving this. Like, are you at the deli counter and you're like, hey, give me one of those babushka barbes? Or is this... I've never... I gotta start going to different grocery stores. Hey, can I get 300 grams of babushka barbe, please? I don't hate it. Like, it's weird, don't get me wrong, but I don't hate it. Apologies. Due to manufacturing issues, we're running very low on wooden skillets. Therefore, most meals will be served on plates. The saddest story ever told.
What is life like on Bitch
Oh,
Island?
no.
I don't know. Ask your mom.
Very,
You know
very,
what? We'll
very,
just
very
leave
close
instead.
to the end, I think.
They carried my bill out on a typewriter. I hate that shit, man.
Bro, what the fuck?
Oh, this is the one that just... I'm like, the dinner's over. I just want to get the
Halfway
hell
there.
out of the restaurant. You're dragging over a damn typewriter. Servers have biceps like bulging out of their sleeves. Come on, man. Do it. Hey, when it comes over, I don't need the machine. I do need the machine though. It's 2021. Oh man, that's just needless. I guess I'm not supposed to eat my soup. Oh. I think what makes this subreddit so great is that like every single one of them is just like, but why? You could have just put it in a bowl.
Yeah,
Hello.
true.
Well, new shoes. Look at this. Hello, honey. Okay, it's a subreddit for restaurants
No,
serving
fuck.
things in stupid ways.
Why?
What the heck is that?
Someone I knew got her food on some kind of bone. That's just a big old bone. I don't even know what that's. Maybe it's from a cow or a horse.
Elephant?
If they got an elephant, like that's an elephant pelvis or something. That's crazy.
Okay.
La.
Again, dude.
Apple
Like, can I
pastry
be
served
even
on an
more
image of a plate
silent?
on an iPad.
I'll be even more sneaky, dude.
That is tacky. I couldn't agree with you more. They're almost taunting you with the image of a plate. La. I mean, is it satire? Yeah, but I don't want satirical food. I don't want my food to be a parody. I just want it to be, food. Ravioli on a clothesline. Also, it's pretty good, right? Also seems a little bit ridiculous. Ravioli on a clothesline. I don't think you, this is, if I worked here, I think I would be pissed. Because, I mean, for the diner, I think this is worse because the ravioli is punctured. Which is just, I would rather
Thanks
have
for
them be
that.
pristine if possible. And it's definitely possible because you could just make a plate. But then the fact that the dishwasher has to wash 8 clothespins every time.
I doubt they wash those.
They gotta wash them, right? Like, This is an American starter called fried ravioli. So if you watch Kitchen Nightmares, you'll see it on like literally, I would say half of the episodes. Whenever they're like, Gordon comes in and is like, "Hey, what's good here?" They're always like, "Oh, you gotta get the fried ravioli."
Fried ravioli sounds terrible.
Like a little deep fried little pizza roll type thing, but it just
I don't think we should get too close.
Also, what is this? Did they build this out of like an old sewing machine or something? I don't understand what it even is. Oh no! Oh no!
A flat mozzarella stick?
I
That's
watched my
ridiculous.
fries drift away because someone else wanted fried zucchini. What the heck is this?
Title is good.
So it's like a shareable platter, but instead of being a platter, it's on like a Ferris wheel. Yeah. Again, I mean, look.
It's not that bad.
It's not. It's funny. I mean, like, here's what I would say to OP on this one. I would just say, hey, you can wait a second for the fries. When they grab some zucchini, you can just pull it back around. It's weird. Like, I would prefer if it was just on a plate of some sort. But sure, this is, at least it works. Like, some of this other... Even this, like...
Oh my God.
That's probably Whistler.
No.
You don't think in Whistler they would serve you pizza on a snowboard?
That sounds horrible.
I could see it. Well, you know what? I've never seen this soda before, so it must be another part of the world. You know what it is? Is like I just don't know what I'm looking at. Like I can't tell where the pizza ends and the board begins.
Why? How did you notice me? How do you notice me?
This. I was not as impressed. Okay, so this is like the original, right?
I think we just don't go through the tunnel.
But why are they all plugged in?
I bet they have the image of the plate
He looks
underneath
back
them when you-
sometimes.
Curry
Yeah,
on a
okay, I
chopping
see.
board. This is just idiocy. I don't know how many times we've been through this. Like, why do so many restaurants serve saucy food on a flat apparatus? And then the rice on the
so I
side
didn't
with
have
all
any-
the crinkle cut carrots in it, and if any, it's not like this would be bad still if they inverted it. Like if they put the curry in the bowl and the rice on the thing, at least you could spoon one bit of curry onto the rice and eat it.
Yeah.
And probably not spill so much, but la la la. She's like, you're blocking my view of myself. Literally 6 nachos for the whole table. Look at this kid. The kid is so like.
Who thought of the? Is it the same restaurant with the ravioli?
It might be. You can't use a clothespin on a brittle surface like this. Like it's gonna shatter your tortilla chips. That's not what it's built for. This is like drying your dishes on a clothesline. You're just begging for trouble. Again, I am not simply being like, obsessed with how the workers feel, but like for 6 tortilla chips, the workers, maybe they wash the clothespins, maybe they don't, but they've got 3 sauce containers, 3 bespoke wooden spatulas. That's 6 things to wash just so that they can eat 6 tortilla chips.
That's insane.
She has contagious laughter going right now too. Like it's.
Were you scared?
Sometimes she fake laughs though. She goes ha 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 ha. Another user stole my pic from a previous post here and made it to the front page. So here's the uncropped version. I don't know. I mean, what's? Am I missing something? It is like it's in a mug. Babu. That doesn't seem that bad. I think they got upvoted for the social engineering, which is fine. This is getting out of hand. In a restaurant in Canada last night, I was served pudding on, and I wish I was joking, an ancient VHS copy of The Bodyguard.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
This is a bedpan. This is like what you would pee in at the hospital?
Oh, what? That's gross.
All right, that's pretty gross. I needed more context on that. Hey, this is also dumb. I wonder where that is. I'm just gonna guess that it's Toronto.
I was supposed to say Quebec.
The most awful thing ever. Broccoli impaled on a metal thing?
Supposed to be a tree or something.
I just don't understand why. It's just insane. Love it when sand gets in my soup. That's I mean, maybe it's edible sand. It's still I hate that.
What is the purpose of that?
I guess it's like a cool treasure hunt, you know? Like when you get the dish, you get to go you get to look for your soup and then
That's the server.
yeah,
Please,
you might be right.
please.
It better be the best soup I've ever had in my entire life. Overcooked
Okay,
eggs
so they
served in
run
the pan
back.
they were cooked in.
Okay, so I need
Thanks.
to
Okay,
hide.
that is a situation.
This is such
The
an annoying
food
trial.
looks
It's such
horrible.
an annoying trial. I'm so annoyed.
It's way
Okay.
like the service is terrible, but the
All right, chat. It's really late. I'm head out. Let's raid. You know what? We'll raid someone we don't raid often. We'll raid Caroline Kwan. Actually, no. You know what? Fuck it. We'll raid Carter. All right. Oh, yeah, it's late. And this trial is very annoying. So I'll start with it tomorrow. Alright. Bye, everyone. Good night.